Oh, this scene. Just being back in this hole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That must have brought back. It's so funny. You write a scene like this, and then you're directing it, and you're so worried about the lighting and getting everything framed just right. And of course, I don't have to worry about the acting with you, my friend. But you're looking at every little nuance, and you kind of tend to forget. Jesus, what a horrible thing this is representing. You get kind of technical with it, and then you watch it, and you say, God, this poor guy.
Yeah. I mean, just seeing Plemons' shadow come across the tarp was just...
well, this is just as good a time as any to talk about Marshall Adams, our amazing DP.
Yeah.
And, God, what an artist.
Really. And such a sweet, beautiful man.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And our camera operators, Paul and Matt, just nailed it every time and gave so much wonderful input into helping me come up with compositions and whatnot, where to put the camera. And boy, just what a murderer's row of talent behind the camera and in front of it, obviously.
Now, everyone listening to this right now, and I'm sure you're very much aware of this, but Vince, he just does his homework, so much homework. He comes to set every day so prepared, does his own storyboards. He just knows it all. But it just, to reiterate what Vince said, is very much a team, sort of team effort.
Oh, God, yeah. Well, the great thing about homework, I kind of do tend to overdo the homework, but it frees you up because then you can throw it away and you can come up, you can listen to folks say, hey, what if we did this? And then you've got a good plan, or hopefully a good plan. You got a good plan in your back pocket, but you can come up with something even better. It's like having a net underneath you when you're walking a tightrope. It's haven't done your homework. And how great is Jesse Plemons? How great is this guy?
I love that guy. And just him zipping on the skin of Todd it's just so eerie because he could not be further from this sociopath.
That's true. Well, no, that's true. What a hell of an actor. But he does share some of the nice qualities that Todd has, but none of the murderous,
right.
Killing people like bugs quality. And by the way, looking up there, again, Marshall and his lighting and also the rodeo effects folks and our wonderful set builders, this is indoors in a soundstage. And because this hole in the ground and indeed this entire compound does not exist anymore. We visited it during pre-production. It's just a big bulldozed field now. None of these buildings exist. The hole in the ground got covered over. So you're looking up at a constructed set inside a soundstage, and then the sky, the little bit of sky behind your head there was added in digitally because it was just a big green tarp, not a tarp, but a big green cyclorama or whatever you call it. And
but when he finally gets out of this cage, that is actually shot on a different location, same location that he was sprayed with the fire hose on.
Exactly right. It's a real. You'll see it in just a second here. It's a real Quonset hut, and it's right in the middle of Albuquerque in an industrial area where there's a lot of industry and warehouses and whatnot.
Yeah.
So sound is a little bit of an issue for Phil, our amazing sound recordist, who hates me when I pick locations like this because there's trucks rolling by and whatnot. But this is right in the middle of Albuquerque, and the pit you're climbing out of, they dug a hole. What was it, maybe 4 feet deep? It was enough to crouch down out of sight.
Yeah.
But the Quonset hut was there, and then the wall behind Jesse Plemons' back is just constructed. It just goes up just a little bit past the top of the frame. But, this Quonset hut is, in a way, not a great match for the original, but because I think the ribs go in the opposite direction or something like that. But it works. It all works.
Yeah, it's movie magic. It's really movie magic. Wild.
This.
Oh my God!
I feel guilty for laughing, but I laugh every time I see this.
When he's like, "I should take better care of you or clean you up," it's just, oh my God! And this shot is just, he's so close to freedom, you
So
know.
close to
It's
freedom. Yeah.
just this look.
Look at that! Look at that! Look at that handsome man. Even all the rat's nest beard and all the scars can't hide that handsome man.
Oh, I don't know about that, my friend. I look pretty shitty, to be honest. Yeah.
And that background's all added in digitally. Again, that wide shot you just saw was a digital matte painting.
Holly.
Oh, Holly,
Holly.
and Rose.
Yeah.
Holly Rice, my life partner, my significant other. That's her name's Holly Rice, and that's of course the Spanish word for rice. And this is
so great.
This was a great location.
Such a great location. Bizarre. It was a little bizarre.
The architecture, very interesting architecture.
But I loved it.
Yeah. We had a place right next door that I loved that we were going to use until quite late in the pre-production process. And then I wanted to be a completist, so I sort of glanced across the street and I said, can we look at this other place? And we wound up in this place that was literally right next to the place I was about to choose for the location. And this whole crazy shit was all ad-libbed about the pool because it was indeed filled in with rock, with like those little river rocks.
Yeah.
And then a tarp over top of that was not set deck. That's the way it is because of an insurance thing. They filled it in years before because of some city ordinance or I don't know what it was. You had to have a full-time lifeguard. Nobody could afford to have that, so they just filled it in.
This.
How hard was it to get this thing on? Was it actually tricky?
There were some times we put it on, it would just be seamless, you know, and then others was a bit complicated, but our wonderful editors made it look like we knew what we were doing. And this right here, you know, he's like, oh, is this it? Is this all you needed help with? And then he's like, no, well, there's something else. That's when Jesse starts to really get a little worried, I think. This
is going to be bad,
Yeah.
I'm so glad you mentioned Skip Macdonald, our wonderful editor.
Yeah.
That was made up of I didn't have as many pieces for that scene just then of putting the top on, and Skip worked his magic and figured out a way to take the very few angles I had and really seamlessly cut out probably a half page of dialogue. That was because remember he talks about I found this on he says something about I found this on Craigslist and I was going to trade it, but the scene went on a lot longer than that, and Skip figured out a way to. Oh, and this is right near the rail yard. This is cool.
And this is when he hears for the first time that Walt is in fact dead.
Yeah, right. Oh, that big tow truck. That's Chris, one of our wonderful Teamsters, driving that thing. And then this was a fake street lamp that was, it was full size, but we brought it in, and we had control of being able to turn the lights on, which was cool. And shot it at magic hour, and that's a idling locomotive and a couple of locomotives in the background there, which added to to Phil's headaches, but actually made the soundscape even more interesting, I thought. And this is just one of our grips shining a light as if it were a headlamp of an approaching car, just sort of tipping it up and hitting the stop sign. Oh, talk about this as U-turn.
Regis. Regis is going to love this. Regis, my beautiful stunt man. I just love him to death. I want to bring him on every job I do. But we had him doing a U-turn in the Fiero, and for some reason he just could not do it. And then finally, I just raised my head. I'm like, I raised my hand because I didn't want to step on anyone's toes. You know, I raised my hand. And I said, "Hey, you mind if I just give it a shot?" And first shot out of the gates, I just nail it. Like time and time again, and Regis just and he got shit for that for the rest of the shoot. I would send him diagrams of like how to make a proper U-turn.
Well, two thoughts. You are a bit of a ringer, my friend, because you are an excellent driver, and you did the movie Need for Speed.
Yeah. I love to drive. Yeah.
And you were excellent, and then you learned from a bunch of professionals for that movie, right?
Yeah.
And also, that Fiero has a turning radius of a fucking super tanker, right? Even as tiny as it is.
It's true. Yeah, it's so bizarre. You think it could turn on a dime, but it really can't.
No, that's true. So this is the real interior of this apartment building.
Yeah. Oh, and our brilliant, nosy neighbor, Tom Bauer, he is just perfect. I just loved being on set with him and just watching his... him do his thing. His choices are it's just really so perfect.
He's so wonderful. I couldn't agree more. God, he's funny. And this shot is, I'm so proud of this shot. I'm so proud of Marshall and Paul, our camera operator, and indeed the whole crew. This shot was ridiculously hard to get because it really is. This is the real life apartment building, and the camera is jammed into a space that's smaller than a little tiny like shoe closet. This really is a oneer with no tricks, and the camera really had no place to be, and still they made it work.
And I couldn't tell where he was at, so I just kind of guessing in a way.
And and unlike that crazy shot with the Badger's car, which took 22 takes, that one took maybe 4, and we probably had it on the third one.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Now we are in a stage set built by Judy and her amazing construction team and her art director and all the folks in her team. This is all on the sound stage because the real life apartments in the building are maybe, I don't know, a quarter the size of this place. So this is the kind of a magical apartment building that where the apartments are much bigger than they could be in real life.
Love seeing his house. Just his pastel walls. It's just so great, and just how different his bedroom is than the front room.
Yeah, I thought that was all, and that's all Judy and her team. And I got to say, I had in the early going when I was writing this, and in early pre-production, I was looking at photos on the internet of salt shakers and bric-a-brac stuff that go in Todd's apartment, and I had this idea that a lot of it was kind of sexualized, like naked lady sculptures and stuff like that. And I was showing this stuff to Judy, and she said, I don't know, it feels wrong. And she was 100% right. He's a child. He's childlike. He's almost, he's not literally, the character's not literally prepubescent, but it's almost like that's the way he comes across. So so she rightly suggested I get rid of that idea. And she came up with all this more childlike stuff, except with overtones of violence, because the salt and pepper shaker, if you look closely, you just saw a glimpse of it, are hand grenades.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's great.
That was her idea.
And Gloria.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yes.
She, who plays the wonderful Stonia, was so excited, to be here and be on set. She was just, she's really lit up the set.
She was wonderful.
It was, terrible. Her little crock kept falling off.
Yeah.
Which is, I'm excited to talk about that in a moment. But just again, the work that goes into all of these shots, and then look at this. Oh, let's not forget this. You
a great sound
psychopath. So it's just so great. I remember watching this for the first time. I was just dying laughing.
He's so matter of fact.
Yeah.
And the way Jesse plays it, Jesse Plemons plays it, it's just he's so matter of fact. I just love it. You two together. I'm so glad. I'm so glad to get to work with you again. I'm so glad we got to make this movie, but I'm so glad Todd, we were able to see more of Todd, because I always knew there was more to do with Todd.
Yeah. It's really nice. I mean, so much more story to tell.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Being with Bacon.
Being with Bacon. Last one.
That was my favorite. That was my favorite soup growing up. I still like it. Is it? Had you ever had it before? Everyone.
Yeah. I used to live off of those cans.
Oh, okay.
You know, yeah.
The reason I asked that is because a lot of the crew said bean with bacon. I don't. Where do we even find that? It might have been in east of the.
You know what? I don't know if I've ever had bean with bacon, but I used to. You know, I grew up. I didn't have much money at all, and when I moved to LA, I was living off of Campbell's soup and top ramen. You know.
Oh yeah. I'll bet. I mean, because you had some as a lot of the greats do. You had some lean times at the beginning.
Yeah. And just before you gave me a shot, my God, that was the lowest time. But
God, is that true?
It is true. Yeah. I mean, this first time I ever asked my parents for anything. They didn't have any money to give me, but they actually paid my rent 3 months in a row, and it broke my heart each time they sent in a check. But then I auditioned for Breaking Bad, and
wow! And your parents are the sweetest. They are the sweetest
thank you,
people.
man.
I love your parents. They're awesome.
You know what? Actually, there was a shot, a sequence on the way to Todd's apartment that was cut, and I believe it's in the deleted scenes.
Yes, it will be. Yes.
Yeah, and. I selfishly snuck in my brother, who is just the biggest Breaking Bad fan, and my baby girl story. But yeah.
And he did a wonderful job. He
was so nervous. Oh my God. He had never been on set before. And so to watch him do that, my brother Steven, he's just, it just made me so happy. So thank you.
I still feel guilty. It crushed me to cut it. It was again for time, but and to be fair, when I say time, it's not like Netflix or Sony said this thing has to be a certain running time, but you watch your movie, and you gotta kill your darlings sometimes, as William Faulkner said, and you gotta get tough with it because you want it to move, and but Steven did a great job. Story was as cute as just the cutest little girl ever, and it did make me feel bad to cut it, but oh my God,
these so the little wolf, that I did that,
you made that,
but coming to set in the morning and watching you just spend so much time on placing these snow globes made me so happy. You're just like a little kid in a candy store. You're just loving life, and just creating your shots is just really nice to be able to witness.
And Trina, our wonderful. Now she's a producer, full-fledged producer in Better Call Saul. But she was the right-hand woman to Mark Hansen, our prop master, our genius prop master, and she was responsible for the bulk of those snow globes, for making them.
Yeah. Since we're talking about Trina, this just needs to be recorded. First of all, I love her and Perry so much. Her boy, she got a cactus from Breaking Bad. That has been growing inside of her place ever since Breaking Bad. And one of the cactuses grew all the way to the ceiling and started like poking a hole in the ceiling.
Really?
I mean, it's so tall. And so she had to cut it down, and then replant it. But, I got to show you a video. It's hilarious.
I want to see that. Why didn't she cut a hole in the ceiling? I thought that's
what I said. That's what I said. I go, you needed to cut a hole in the ceiling. What a missed opportunity.
I know. She's the best. Trina is the best. This, I love, Marshall obviously would have made this beautiful no matter what, but I got to give kudos to the Alexa 65 millimeter camera made by Aeroflex. This camera, I mean, this thing sees in the dark. That scene, I mean, there's other light sources here, but your face is really lit in some of those shots just strictly by that butane lighter. It's a gorgeous imaging machine. It's a camera, but I mean and I miss film. I miss shooting on film, but this digital, it's pretty damn great.
But you did a blind test, right?
I'm glad you brought that up. We sure did. I wanted to shoot this on film. I said to myself, all of Breaking Bad was shot on film. Better Call Saul is shot digitally. But we get to do this movie. We've got a nice, healthy generous budget. Let's go back to film. We'll shoot on film, just like we did the TV show. But then I thought, there's a lot good about digital, and I don't want film to ever go away. But we did a blind, just like you said, we did a blind test with all these different cameras, including film, and then we watched them on a big screen, and they all look good. And I could not pick out the film versus the digital. Maybe someone else could have. Maybe my eye is not swift enough, but we wound up going with the Alexa 65.
Yeah, and it looks beautiful. My God, how much fun did we have on this film?
Yeah. I worried about you pulling those baseboards loose because they had nails sticking through them.